the
Creepy, Cryptic
podcast.
Welcome to the Creepy Cryptic podcast, where we talk about the creepy, the cryptic, and the macabre. I'm your host, Ron, joined always by Clancy.
Hello, everybody.
Today we are stepping into the world of the paranormal. We will be talking about some supposed ghosts that inhabit the long-closed island prison of Alcatraz.
Spooky.
So, before we jump into some of the supposed ghosts that remain in the prison, I want to go over a bit of the long history of the island.
Mm-hmm.
Some pronunciations are going to be really horrible, because one, I don't speak Spanish, and two, some of them are native names, so I will try my best.
I think that's fair. You're trying.
So first, before the Spanish discovery in 1769, Alcatraz was visited and used by the Ramaytush and Oholo people for gathering bird eggs and fish, and potentially as a ceremonial or healing site and a place to isolate tribal members who had broken tribal law.
Okay, so it's kind of always been not necessarily a prison, but somewhere where like bad people were placed. Like you said, they might be isolated there.
Apparently a lot of local oral stories of the island being like full of evil spirits.
Oh, very cool, very cool.
So, in 1775, the island was named Islos de los Alcatraz, the Island of the Pelicans, by Juan Manuel de Ayala in 1848, following the end of the Mexican-American War, the United States' control of California, which included the island. In 1850 to 1870, the island and the surrounding land was designated as harbor defenses, with a fort and military barracks being constructed before being shifted to a military prison in 1876. Was used as a military prison during the American Civil War. In 1907, the War Department deemed Alcatraz obsolete as harbor defense fort and is shifted permanently into a military prison serving the entire U.S. military west of the Rockies. So it became basically the de facto military prison for any U.S. military members.
Okay, so they would all get sent there.
Yes, anybody west of the Rockies.
Okay.
So quite a few people.
Yeah.
In 1908, a new 48-foot tall concrete lighthouse tower was constructed. In 1909, the world's largest concrete cell house starts construction, planning to hold 600 one-man cells in 500-foot-long structure. Construction is completed in 1912. In 1930, the Great Depression and the rise of organized crime leads to a review in military disciplinary barracks and a new search for a maximum security prison to house the nation's most dangerous prisoners. So in 1934, the Department of Justice acquires Alcatraz and transforms it into a federal prison. In 1963, Alcatraz is closed, citing the cost of operation and maintenance. And for a brief period in the late 60s, there was an occupation of Alcatraz by First Nations activists trying to reclaim the land.
Oh, okay.
And then in 1973, Alcatraz is open to the public as a national park. So, first place we're going to talk about on Alcatraz is Cell Block D. So the most famous and supposed haunted place on the island is Cell Block D. D Block at Alcatraz was infamous for punishment unit for difficult inmates. All cells in Alcatraz measured about 9 feet by 5 feet by 7 feet. So, not that big.
Mm-hmm.
Prisoners there faced harsh conditions, including solitary confinement, strip searches, with solitary confinement typically lasting 3 to 19 days.
Those conditions sound kind of like the conditions of some prisons like elsewhere in the world today. Like they still are like really bad like that.
Oh yeah, it's especially solitary confinement. You know, imagine being stuck in a small cell, not being let out for 3 up to 19 days. Like that's a long time to be by yourself.
Yeah. God, I don't want to be alone with my thoughts for more than like 2 minutes, like let alone days.
The most severe cells 9 through 14, called the hole. Inmates in these cells had only 10-minute shower and 1 hour yard time weekly. So that's the only time you left your cell, if you were in those those 6 cells. The harshest cell, nicknamed the Oriental or the strip cell, contained only a hole in the floor for a toilet and was controlled by the guards, and often held prisoners naked for up to 2 days.
Oh my god.
Cell 14D on Alcatraz's D block, known as part of the hole, is infamous for harsh solitary confinement and is considered one of the prison's most haunted spots.
Oh, I just wanted to say too, I know you were talking about like the conditions and how poor they were and stuff, and like it was really negative, obviously. I mean, it was a prison, so people were sent there to be uncomfortable. But I wonder if that kind of energy, I know that some like psychics and people into the paranormal say that negative energy kind of not stains a place, but kind of has an effect on it. I wonder if that's why this is such a huge deal when it comes to like ghost stories and stuff. Like, if that has anything to do with it, if it's real, if the ghosts are real, if the negativity and like the horrific like things that happened there kind of affected that, if it might have made it easier for things to stick around. Anyway.
In the 1940s, a prisoner was found strangled there after screaming about seeing glowing-eyed entity for several hours. Today, visitors and staff often report sudden drops in temperature, voices, and see dark figures inside the cell, fueling its haunted reputation. While this particular story has been brought into question about if it's true or an urban legend, there has been a murder in the prison of a prisoner that was at one point incarcerated in cell D14. Rufus Roy McCain was an Alcatraz prisoner who took part in an escape attempt with Henry Young, Arthur Doc Barker, Dale Stamphill, and William Martin. Doc Barker was part of the famous Barker gang, very famous bank robbers.
Yeah, Ma and Pa Barker?
Yes.
Is that it? Or just Ma Barker?
Ma Barker.
Ma
Yes.
Barker.
Yeah, he was the oldest brother.
Okay.
So on January 13th, 1939, the group broke out of isolation by sawing through bars, but were caught at the shoreline. McKay, Young, and Martin surrendered, while Barker was fatally shot. As punishment, McKay and Young spent nearly 22 months in solitary confinement, enduring extreme isolation before returning to general prison population. McCain was assigned to the tailor shop, and Young, a furniture shop located directly upstairs. So, 22 months in solitary confinement, when the typical stint was 3 to 19 days.
So that's
pretty severe.
Yeah, so that's pretty intense. Like, I can only imagine what something like that would do to a person's psyche, because, like, we've heard of, like, sensory deprivation tanks and stuff causing hallucinations and that kind of thing. So I imagine even though, like, you're not blindfolded and you're not deafened and that kind of thing, but just being alone must have, like, an incredible impact on somebody for that long.
Oh, absolutely. Well, even whenever you were assigned to solitary, that 1 hour weekly that you got out in the yard was completely by yourself.
Oh my gosh. Jeez. So
yeah, your showers you were taken completely by yourself.
yeah.
Alcatraz was not about reformment, it was about punishment. The warden at the time very much believed in that you are not being sent there to be reformed, you're being sent there to be punished, and the only way to punish you is to completely break you. So he had even strict rules on prisoners weren't allowed to talk to each other. So in the mess halls, anything like that, if prisoners were caught talking, they were often punished.
I guess it's hard to plan a rebellion if you're not allowed to talk to each other.
That's probably the thinking behind it. So, on December 3rd, 1940, Henry Young fatally stabbed McCain after morning count. No official motive was given for McCain's murder, but a fellow prisoner, Alvin Karpis, nicknamed Creepy Karpis, who is another famous member of the Karpis Barker gang, claimed Henry Young blamed McCain for their failed escape. Since McCain couldn't swim, and Barker insisted to stay together and attempt to build a raft, which delayed them until the fog lifted and guards spotted them. To this day, both visitors and staff at Alcatraz report hearing a male voice near cell block D calling out words like Henry and please wait. So it's speculated that it's definitely McCain's spirit that is still there.
Like, I am surprised that, these guys make it to the shore and one of them says, I can't swim. They must have been pretty close for them to be, to even entertain the idea of making a raft and not leaving him behind. So much so that they, got caught. They, I'm sorry, but if they didn't give a shit about him, they would have just every man for himself and left him there and swam on their own. So they must have cared about him. That's weird. Not weird.
I think it might be not that they cared about him, but worried about a loose end.
Oh, duh. Yeah, no, because he had all
if
the
they leave him behind, he might have information of where they plan to go, what they're, if somebody on the outside was waiting for them. That's a pretty big loose end to have now stuck in prison being mad that he got left behind.
Yeah, I guess so. But, even so, I don't know if I'd think of it that way because, say, the others all make it to shore on the other side. Escaping is the main thing. Leaving someone behind is, secondary as far as that goes to me. And escaping is the first thing because then, once you get to shore, what you can do is say, okay, whatever plan we had before, nix it. We're not doing that. We're doing something completely different, and we'll go from there. But
it could also be them worry about consequences later if he ever gets out of prison.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, they could be worried because, it's really bad guys that go in there. So, yeah.
Exactly. Very much the worst of the worst.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he might either have connections already on the outside, who knows, or he might also just, like you said, if he gets out, either he does manage to escape or he gets somehow released or whatever, he could come after them, and that could be bad.
Exactly. So our next supposed ghost, we were discussing, so another spirit that is apparently in Alcatraz is Abby Butcher Maldowitz. So Abby Maldowitz was a little-known Alcatraz inmate whose violent death in the prison laundry room made him more infamous in death than in life. He was a former hitman. Maldowitz was murdered by another prisoner inside cell block C. His spirit was later discovered by the famous TV psychic Sylvia Browne, who described sensing a tall, bald man with piercing eyes and a strong presence of violence in the laundry room. Browne believed Maldowitz remained trapped there, angry over his death. Though she attempted to help him find peace, his ghost is said to still haunt the area. Reports describe a loud disturbance, violent sounds, and echoes of a struggle ending in silence, especially around the old laundry room. Say Maldowitz is remembered less for his crimes and more for his ghostly ruckus he is believed to cause in cell block C of Alcatraz.
Can we talk for a second about Sylvia Browne? I remember when I was younger that my mom was kind of into her stuff, and she was she was pretty popular. What do we think? I'm working on an episode for the future all about psychics and stuff. How do we feel about psychics?
I'm quite skeptical when it comes to psychics.
Yeah. See, to me, it depends on the psychic. Some of them, I'm more intrigued, and it really depends on what they say and how they say it, versus others, don't get me started on Teresa Caputo.
I was just about to say, Long Island medium.
Exactly, yeah. That is just such a show. That's such a put on, as far as I'm concerned. But, okay, yeah, so that's interesting. And of course, though, Sylvia Browne made this discovery and covered all of this during a TV special, you said, right?
Yes, she was actually brought in by the Park Service to investigate on live TV.
Interesting.
Yes.
And, like, I wonder how much research was available at that time. Because, sorry, do you know what year this was? Did I miss that?
No, I want to say it was in the 90s.
Okay, so in the 90s. I wonder what kind of resources were available at the time to get the details that she got.
I believe they didn't discover the name. She gave the nickname Butcher. They didn't discover an inmate that had that nickname until after the special was aired.
Okay, see, something like that, very intriguing, very interesting. Love that. But overall, very skeptical as well. I agree.
So our last ghostly encounter I will leave off with is about Alcatraz's most famous prisoner, Al Capone. Though Al Capone only served 7 years of his 11-year sentence at Alcatraz before being released due to poor health because his brain was rotting away from syphilis, his ghost is said to remain on the island.
Sorry.
During his time there, the infamous gangster often played the banjo alone in the shower block. That was one of his few luxuries he was granted, was the guards would let him alone in the shower block to play the banjo.
I thought you were going to say that was one of the few, like, faculties he had left because his brain was mush.
I mean, probably too. Finding comfort in music as his health and mind declined. Even though Capone died in Florida in 1947, visitors and staff at Alcatraz still report hearing a faint sound of a banjo echoing through the prison halls leading to the shower block, believed to be Capone's lingering spirit.
Very interesting. Very interesting. I get that that's probably their bread and butter, is the whole Al Capone thing, but it makes me wonder, like, why would Al Capone's spirit choose to be there? Unless it's one of those, like, residual haunting type things where they say that it's a moment that is repeated.
I believe it's probably more of a residual haunting, if it's anything.
Okay.
Because people don't... I couldn't find any claims of seeing him or anything.
Mm-hmm.
It was more people hear the music and that's it.
Okay, so yeah, it could have been more of like an imprint left behind.
Yeah, it's like connecting one thing to another. Okay, who famously played banjo here? Well, it was Al Capone. Type thing.
Oh, that was really good. Thank you. That was very informative.
So that wraps up our look at the three spirits that are said to haunt the infamous prison of Alcatraz. So thank you for coming along with us.
Yeah, it was great to have you here with us, to spend some time with us today and talk about Alcatraz, and we hope you enjoyed.
If you enjoyed this episode, please leave us a review and share it with someone who might love a good creepy tale. Got your own spooky stories or ideas for future topics? We'd love to hear from you. Reach out to us on our Facebook page at the Creepy Cryptic Podcast, or send us an email at creepycrypticpodcast@gmail.com. And don't forget, we're now posting episodes on YouTube as well, so be sure to check us out on there as well.
Yeah, thank you, everybody.